Hello there, fellow victims of corporate whims. It's time to dust off those office shoes and get ready for a new chapter in our professional lives. Today's subject, Dell's grand U-turn on remote work. Yes, you heard that right. The tech giant is calling its troops back to the office. As of March 3rd, 2025, it's back to the office, folks. Mark your calendars and set those alarms. That's right, if you're within an hour of a Dell office, kiss those sweatpants goodbye and dust off your hard pants. It's time to embrace the business casual once more. This news sent shockwaves through the tech world and beyond. Conversations are buzzing and opinions are flying. After all, we've all gotten used to the comforts of home, the cozy setups, the personalized workspaces and the flexibility. Working in our pajamas, endless snacks, the joy of avoiding rush hour traffic. It was a dream come true for many. Those were the days, weren't they? A time when the line between work and home blurred in the best possible way. But alas, the corporate overlords have spoken. The era of remote work, at least for Dell, is drawing to a close. So who exactly is affected by this new decree? Who needs to pack up their home office and head back to the corporate world? Well, anyone within that magical 1 hour radius of a Dell office. If you're close enough, you're expected to show up. And let me tell you, Dell has quite the presence, especially in certain parts of the country. Their offices are spread far and wide. But before we delve deeper into the geographical impact, let's try to understand the why behind this seemingly drastic decision. What's driving this change? What could possibly possess a company to yank its employees back to the office after years of remote bliss? Is it productivity, culture, or something else? Let's just say Dell's CEO has some thoughts. Stay tuned as we dive into the reasoning behind this bold move. Michael Dell, the man, the myth, the legend, the visionary who transformed a dorm room startup into a global tech powerhouse. Or at least the guy who decides whether you'll be wearing sweatpants or slacks to work. Yes, the man who holds the fate of your wardrobe in his hands. According to our fearless leader, this decision boils down to one thing: collaboration. That's right, folks, collaboration. The magic word that seems to be the key to unlocking all potential. Apparently, those Zoom calls and Slack messages just aren't cutting it anymore. The digital realm, it seems, lacks the spark of real human connection. Michael believes that nothing can replace the magic of face-to-face interaction. The handshake, the eye contact, the shared laughter, these are irreplaceable. The spontaneous brainstorming, the water cooler chats, the awkward encounters in the elevator, it's all part of the creative process, apparently. These moments, he argues, are the breeding ground for innovation. Dell argues that this in-person collaboration is crucial for fostering innovation, driving value, and ultimately keeping those customers happy. It's about creating an environment where ideas can flourish, because as we all know, there's nothing quite like being physically present in an office to really understand what the customer wants. The nuances, the subtleties, they all come to life in person. Now, some might argue that technology has advanced to a point where remote collaboration can be just as effective, if not more so. The tools are there, the connectivity is there. But hey, who are we to question the wisdom of Michael Dell? The man has built an empire, after all. Clearly, he knows something we don't. Perhaps there's a secret source to his success that involves more than just technology. Or maybe he just misses seeing our smiling faces every day, the camaraderie, the shared experiences, they all add up. Speaking of Dell's presence, let's talk about a state that's feeling the impact of this new policy quite acutely: Massachusetts. The shift back to the office is reshaping the work culture there. Massachusetts, the land of clam chowder, Harvard University, and a whole lot of Dell employees. You see, Dell has a rather significant footprint in the Bay State, thanks in part to their acquisition of EMC Corp. Back in 2016, with offices in Franklin and Hopkinton, Dell employs a whopping 5,000 people in Massachusetts alone. That's a lot of people suddenly having to trade in their comfy home offices for the hustle and bustle of corporate life. Imagine the traffic jams, the packed commuter trains, the frantic search for parking spots. Yes, the return to office mandate is causing quite a stir in Massachusetts, to say the least. But Dell isn't the only tech giant calling its remote workers back to the fold. In fact, they're part of a growing trend following in the footsteps of other corporate heavyweights like Amazon and JP Chase. Section 4, the Amazon Effect, a return to office pioneer. Remember Amazon, that little online bookstore that could Yeah, well, they've grown up a bit since then, becoming a global behemoth with their fingers in practically every pie imaginable. And when it comes to the return to office trend, Amazon was one of the first to make a move. Back in January 2025, they dropped the bombshell 3 days a week minimum in the office. The reasoning, you guessed it, collaboration. Apparently, even with all their sophisticated algorithms and cutting-edge technology, Amazon still believes that nothing can replace the power of in-person interaction. Of course, not everyone was thrilled with this decision. Some employees even dared to voice their displeasure, but to no avail. The decision was made, and that was that. Amazon's move sent ripples throughout the corporate world, signaling a potential shift in the way we work. Section 5, JP Morgan Chase follows suit. Wall Street embraces in-person work. Not to be outdone, JP Morgan Chase, the financial behemoth, decided to get in on the action too. They have always been a trendsetter in the financial world, and this move is no different. They announced their own return-to-office policy effective March 2025, requiring employees to grace the hallowed halls of their offices on a regular basis. This decision marks a significant shift from the remote work culture that has been prevalent over the past few years. Now, Wall Street has always been a bit more traditional when it comes to work culture. The financial sector thrives on face-to-face interactions and the energy of a bustling office environment. Suits, ties, and a healthy dose of FaceTime are par for the course in the world of finance. The in-person dynamic is seen as crucial for building trust and fostering relationships. So, JP Morgan Chase's decision wasn't entirely unexpected. It aligns with their long-standing belief in the power of in-person collaboration. They've always been big proponents of the in-person experience, believing that it fosters a stronger sense of community and allows for better mentorship and development. The spontaneous interactions and immediate feedback are invaluable. Of course, the return-to-office mandate isn't just about collaboration and culture. It's also about maintaining a certain level of oversight and ensuring productivity. Some argue that it's also a way for companies to reassert control over their workforce. The physical presence of employees can make management feel more in control. After all, it's much easier to keep an eye on employees when they're all under one roof. This move by JP Morgan Chase might just set the tone for other financial giants to follow suit. Section 6. The future of remote work, a shifting landscape. So, what does this all mean for the future of remote work? Is this the beginning of the end for working from home? Well, it's hard to say for sure. On the one hand, we have tech giants like Dell, Amazon, and JP Morgan Chase leading the charge back to the office. On the other hand, there are still plenty of companies out there that embrace remote work and see it as the future. The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best approach likely lies somewhere in between, with a hybrid model that allows for both in-person and remote work. Ultimately, the future of work will depend on a variety of factors, including technological advancements, evolving work cultures, and the ever-changing needs of both employees and employers. One thing's for sure, the workplace is changing, and only time will tell what the future holds. Section 7. The Dell decision, a sign of things to come. Dell's decision to end remote work has certainly sparked a lot of debate and speculation. Is this a sign that the remote work revolution is over before it even really began? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The way we work is changing, and companies are still trying to figure out the best way forward. Whether Dell's decision turns out to be a stroke of genius or a colossal blunder remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, it's a decision that will have ripple effects throughout the corporate world and beyond. So buckle up, folks, because the future of work is going to be a wild ride.